It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. And it's coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. And off we go from Denver. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their rookie QB, the young man out of Oregon.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense. Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
A short one to the tight end, Troutman. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 5, 3rd and 7 now.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
To throw, here's Nix. And that will be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
The Broncos send out their punter now. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. That's pulled in at the 32. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by their highly decorated quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember watching him in college and seeing a guy that you knew had great potential, but I don't know that anyone knew that we would see how he would blossom as an NFL player who will go down as one of the all-time great quarterbacks. Can make every throw from every angle with terrific mobility, and he knows how to win games, always in contention for a championship.
2nd down and 3. Now run straight ahead with Warren. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Now it's Rodgers. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
Now they nabbed the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. And a nice run to get him past the original line of scrimmage. A gain of 7. It's 2nd and 8 now.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
A handoff for Warren. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. On play action, it's Rodgers. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 23. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Rodgers now to throw. Out route, and he connects with Freiermuth. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
On the give, it's Warren. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front 3, your front 4, your front 5, whatever you've got in front of you to take up all the blocking, allow you to roam and hit, and that's what he did on that play.
The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
So 2 third-down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So now the 2nd drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Here's Nix. A short one to the tight end, Troutman. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Nix from the shotgun. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Jalen Ramsey with a sack on the corner blitz. Well, their first sack of the game, and it doesn't come from a usual suspect, not somebody up front, but Charles, a defensive back getting in there.
And I can tell you from experience, he's beyond excited to make that play because you're exactly right. It isn't normal to call his number to run at the quarterback like that. Usually you're defending the pass, but he takes full advantage and dumps him to the turf.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll only be a loss of a couple, but the pressure gets home on 1st down. Blitz came there from the inside, and there just wasn't much resistance.
No, not at all. That means that defensively, they timed it up perfectly and matched up perfectly. They drew all the blockers to the other guys, left a free runner back to the quarterback. And you know what a free runner turns into?
What?
A free hitter.
Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. To throw, it's Rodgers. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
And that's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
Throwing now is Rodgers. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him. But even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. And Marvin Mims deep for Denver. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. On the run, this is J.K. Dobbins. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. To throw is Nix. That's caught. It's Marvin Mims. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down. Now it's Nix. To the sideline and incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll go play action with Nix. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 41-yard line. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. A give up the middle to Dobbins. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. Throwing Nix. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack.
The drive had started well after a punt last time. Now it's slowed down a bit, and let's face it, they don't want to punt the ball in back-to-back series. They want a sustained drive on this one.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Nix to the air. Under pressure, they got him again. Alex Highsmith, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings up 4th down. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Three 0 after 1 on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got a 1st and 10 at their own 25. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Now Rodgers. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Nick Bonito drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Nix over the middle. It's complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down. Back to throw. Nix. And this will be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Nix. And he's got his man in stride. Complete. And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
Here's 2nd and 7. Operating from the gun. Nix. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Keanu Benton, the one who got in to bury him. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by down the numbers. There he goes. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And Denver getting set to take the field. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. And it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Working out of the gun is Nix. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on third down, and they keep the drive going.
Here's a give to Dobbins. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Now 2nd and 9. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Harvey. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
Here is 3rd down and 4. Operating from the gun. Nix. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. T.J. Watt drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
Denver's offense ready to go again. And they'll start with great field position, trying to get back into this one. It's 1st and 10 here. Throwing to start the drive. Nix. And that nearly intercepted. Oh, the free safety roaming into position almost had it, but it's 2nd down.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
Operating from the gun. Here's Nix. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
The Broncos on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Nix. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. The Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Off the bootleg, here's Nix. And this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Broncos have got it back to within a score. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Now the Steelers getting set and ready for their next possession. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Ball on the 27. Here's a 2nd and 5. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers. That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. In motion right, that's Metcalf. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
Here's Rodgers to throw. He'll find Metcalf.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Now it's Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Set to punt. Here's Cameron Johnston. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Denver's offense now set to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game planned for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Dobbins running out of the gun. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Cameron Hayward getting upfield to make the stop. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7 our score. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. To throw, here's Nix. He'll find his man on the comeback route. Complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a first down.
A throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Nix. And that's going to be incomplete.
Well, every point certainly counts at this stage of the game. But after driving so far, you absolutely know they want to finish it with 6 instead of 3.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Nix to throw again. Dancing to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now Lutz for the field goal try. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will knot us up at 10. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. Tie ball game, still a little more than a minute to go in the half. The question, can they put something together here, try to take that lead into intermission?
I would have to think that would be the goal for sure. I don't think you sit on anything here. Here's your opportunity. Push it downfield. As you mentioned, it's a tie game. So minus a disaster on your part, you've got that in your back pocket. Go ahead and try and get some points and feel great going into the half.
Second down and a yard. Now Rodgers. They'll get this complete to Calvin Austin. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
And now at this point in the first half, you've got to realize as an offense, you're not going to get it all back in one fell swoop. This is going to be about sustained drives and making sure you finish with points. And that's a good throw there for a first down.
And just not enough on the throw there, down around his feet and incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Short throw to Smith. Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number one. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
A pretty rocky start in this game for the guy throwing the ball. Already has thrown one interception. Almost threw a second one right there. All he's doing right now is giving the defense a whole lot of confidence.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
So we have reached halftime here at a good one. 10-10 is our score. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us. And in the second half of the tie game, every decision gets magnified. And here, if he forces this ball, it could be intercepted. So that's the prudent play to just airmail it out of bounds.
Rodgers now to throw. He'll let it fly for Austin. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing is Rodgers. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the run, it's Warren. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. 38-yard line, 2nd and 9. To throw is Rodgers. That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it but couldn't pull it in.
Those are the ones you dream of as defenders. I think if he gets eyes on the ball a little bit earlier, he might come away with it. Instead, it's going to wind up as just an incomplete pass.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now a run with Warren. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt, and it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. Here's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. A gain of 8 there on the play. And they'll be left with second and a couple.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And Dobbins, he is not going to get there. They stop him short of the line to gain. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. Warren will try the right side. He's got it to the 43 here.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Rodgers going to throw. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him the first.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3-and-out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they'd pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it revealed itself.
They'll run it. Warren. And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Here's Warren. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. This defense, tough to run against. And those linebackers, they'll go side to side up the field, and there they get them for no gain.
If you can't get linemen upfield to the second level to occupy them, they have a field day just running to the football and putting ball carriers on the ground. Not many yards after contact when they wrap up like that.
He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing now is Rodgers. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And the Steelers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
They bring pressure there on 3rd down, but this is a nice job of picking it up and making sure their guy has time to deliver the football. And they wind up getting the 1st down.
Warren. will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding them out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on set? And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Jalen Warren punching it in from a yard away. And the Steelers have taken the lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Boswell for the extra point. He's got it as they go up by a total of 17-10. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And we get another look now at this Broncos offense. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. On the slant, completes to Sutton. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
And it's pretty evident that this passing game has been frustrated so far. They haven't really moved the ball the way we might have expected, but this is a good pickup here for the 1st down.
On 1st down, it's Harvey. They'll get it across the 35. It'll be 2nd down.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
To throw is Nix. He completes this to Sutton. And Sutton will have a Broncos 1st down as he'll get this to the 44-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. A shotgun snap. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. And Pittsburgh, and now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Throwing Nix. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Nix to the air. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 36. 18 big yards on that one and a Denver first.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the first down.
Now it's Nix. Quick hitter here. It's complete. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be second down. Now a handoff for Dobbins. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. And that is incomplete here.
And there's a good opportunity that just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Nix. A short one to the tight end, Troutman. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Here now a 3rd down and 8. Back to throw. Nix. He gets this underneath to Dobbins. And he's going to be taken down short of the first, right around the 15-yard line. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. They're going for it with Dobbins. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down.
4th and 2 in the NFL, not ordinarily a running down anymore. Usually that ball is moved through the air. They went ahead and gave it to the back, and he ends up picking up the first down. I'm not sure if they fooled him as much as they just did a nice job executing.
Needed 2, and they got 3. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
From the 7, it's 2nd and 5. Looking to throw. Nix. He'll find Dobbins out of the backfield. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 5. Back to throw. Nix firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Evan Ingram, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the fourth. That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays.
And Evan Ingram able to finish it off with a touchdown reception. Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
And now out come the Steelers.
Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this fourth quarter to try to grab that lead back.
They fire this one quickly to Austin. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll bring up second down. Now Rodgers. His throw incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
The Steelers on third down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. To throw, it's Rodgers.
A throw out wide going to be incomplete.
The frustration evident there because he couldn't find anyone on third down, and he left no doubt that he was throwing that one away.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. A call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line.
The Broncos offense and Bo Nix getting set for this next possession. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the fourth quarter.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag. A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on second down. Looking to throw. Nix.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And now another one thrown incomplete. The linebacker, T.J. Watt, there on the coverage.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
2nd down and 8. Now run straight ahead with Warren.
And he stopped immediately there.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And this is going to be a Steelers first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
The defense was dialed into the pass. They overlooked the draw play.
And how often do we talk about the oldies are still goodies? Because that draw play comes straight from Coach Paul Brown's playbook, going all the way back to the original Cleveland Browns.
On the give, it's Warren.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
A handoff for Warren.
Oh, no, he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it, and somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 30. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Up the middle they go. Warren. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line.
77 yards rushing now on 23 carries so far.
He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Well, this drive, they're a perfect 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need a full 10 yards here. Fighting to stay upright. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
That looked great when he first took off because in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. This to break our 4th quarter tie. Boswell's kick is good. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game.
Just a gain of a couple there, and it's second down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A short throw to Ingram. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2 yards still to go. Third down now.
Back to throw.
Nix able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Back to throw again.
Over the middle, he finds Vele.
Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Right back to Dobbins on first.
And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play, stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
2nd and 9 now.
Throw left side complete. That's Harvey. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 33.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth.
So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Looking middle, and that's complete.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
Now 2nd and 4.
He'll look to throw.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
They'll look to throw. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. A great effort there. 27 yards.
And the Broncos have taken a fourth quarter lead. Those are the types of plays in these moments they were hoping for from this young rookie, able to put him up here in the fourth quarter.
How about the kid? You just mentioned it, the fourth quarter. This is when you have to make those winning plays. That's what he just did. Doesn't ensure anything, but he certainly gave his team a heck of a chance, didn't he?
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. A 10-play drive that time. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Steelers offense and their running back Jalen Warren headed back onto the field. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the fourth quarter. Rodgers to throw. Short throw to Smith. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Now Rodgers. Got his man, it's Woods. And he is going to get out of bounds with the first down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there. Picked up the first down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have as well as the understand where they are on the field?
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here.
To throw is Rodgers.
Connecting with Johnson.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense.
Here's a 2nd and 7.
Back to throw, Rodgers.
Pass complete to Austin on the comeback route.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Here's first down.
He's back to throw.
Open man downfield is Woods.
And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
This is 1st and 10.
Back to throw. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
Once more from the 11, 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game.
Now 1st and goal.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. They took their shot for the end zone, almost cost him.
And he made the right play there, knocking it away. But, boy, it looked like he had a chance to come down with the football. And if he does that, this thing is over. Instead, he leaves him out there with another chance.
Now 2nd down and a few inches.
To throw is Rodgers. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive, because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, they made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Here's Nix. Able to find Mims. And he'll have a quick first down here as he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. To throw. Here's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. Second and 6 coming up. To throw is Nix. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. A costly sack. They'll have to use a timeout here. And barring a defensive penalty, they'll be looking at one final play. One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, as we say so long from Denver.